What's going on, guys? Jesse here, and welcome back. First video of 2021. I am so excited for what this year has to offer. I don't care what anybody has to say about what 2020 was like. For me, it was a year full of lessons and full of growth. If you haven't seen my video that I made on it, go check it out. Now, with a new year comes setting new intentions and setting resolutions for this year. But I came across an article recently that really kind of had me shocked, and that was how many people actually follow through with their New Year's resolutions. According to a site that I pulled up right here, Best Life, the number of people who stick to their New Year's resolutions is very low. Like, I found out that a study that was done back in 1988 found that while 77% of people who committed to a New Year's resolution stuck to it for a week, only 19% of those who made the resolution actually fulfilled them within 2 years, and the statistics have gotten worse over time. According to a survey by Statista, only 4% of the people who made New Year's resolutions in 2018 said they kept them. So that had me thinking, it's like, what is it that's holding people back from actually following through with their resolutions? And I also asked myself, okay, so what has prevented me from following through with mine in the past? On top of that, what is it that I am doing right now, and what are some tips that I've learned along the way that are helping me stay on track with my goals? So in this video, I'm gonna cover a few tips that are action-based, but I'm gonna also cover something that's a little bit deeper, like mindset and what's going on behind that mindset. So without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so let's start with the actions that you can take. First things first, when setting a goal, clarity is so important. It's one thing to say, my goal is to make a lot of money, and it's another thing to say, my goal is to make $10,000 a month by the end of the year. So having things clear, crystal clear in detail is going to be really crucial so that you can laser focus in on what it is that you exactly want. Now, let's say the goal is to make $10,000 a month by the end of the year. The important question to ask once you have figured out, okay, this is what I want to accomplish, is for what purpose? Why are you wanting that money? Are you just wanting it for material gains? Are you wanting it because you just want to buy that new iPhone or new laptop or new camera, new technology? Is that the reason why you're wanting it? For what purpose are you wanting that? That question, for what purpose, is so important to help you go deeper. To go deeper down into figuring out what the real reason is that you're wanting that. And the second question, once you've figured out, okay, this is what I want, is what is your life going to look like once you get that? Because this helps create a future vision in the mind. And the more clear you can make that vision, the more it's going to be easier to stay focused on attaining that goal. So how would making $10,000 a month affect your life? What's your lifestyle going to look like? What's your relationships going to look like? What about family? How is it going to impact all of those areas? See, I believe that when accomplishing a goal or when moving towards accomplishing a goal, it's far more powerful to focus on something that's greater than just myself. So if I can focus on, okay, attaining this goal is going to help me impact more people. It's going to help me become grounded, and then I can show people how they can become grounded as well. See, the reason is different from just myself. Now, the next thing is to break it down into small, manageable steps. What's the famous saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time? Coming from a vegan, that really doesn't resonate well. You see, if you have never made $10,000 a month, that may seem like a real big step. If your goal is to make $10,000 a month by the end of the year, and you're currently making, let's say, 2, then break it down, do the math. Okay, I've got 52, let's say 50 weeks. Let's say I've got 50 weeks in order to go from 2,000 to 10,000. How much extra a month am I going to have to make? How much extra a week am I going to have to make? And how much extra a day am I going to have to make? See, 10,000 is a pretty big figure for some people. I know it was for me, but once I was able to break down, okay, so it's this much extra a day, this much extra a week, this much extra a month, it became a lot more manageable. And the last thing is give yourself a timeline. Like if you say by the end of the year, then stick to that. Give yourself until the end of the year to accomplish that goal. Bonus is once you figured out how much money you need to make every month, is to set that intention right there. By the end of the month, I will find a way to make this much more a month. And this requires you to go in a little bit deeper as well and just figure out, okay, what are my skills? What am I strong in? What services can I offer? What can I teach? What can I do? How can I help others in order to make that extra income? Now I know this is focusing on income, but it can be for anything. It can be for relationships as well. It can be for personal growth. Get clarity, get detail on it, and then go one layer deeper and ask yourself, for what purpose? So that's basically the action steps that I can think of. I can go more into detail about this, but I'm gonna leave it here for now. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I wanna head into what is more of my favorite topic, and that is talking about the mind. Because ultimately this right here is what's holding us back. When we set a goal, it's that mindset and it's that limiting belief of I'm not good enough. That right there is going to hold you back from accomplishing any goal that you set. So the core of what I'm going to be talking about here is doing things imperfectly. You see, so many people, when they set goals, they end up getting these unreasonable expectations about needing to do it perfectly. And that leaves zero room for any kind of error. And when they make a mistake, even if it's a tiny one, if they fall off the bandwagon, let's say it's like losing weight, and they have one extra cheat day that is way off of what their plan and what their schedule is, then they beat themselves up and be like, I'm a failure, I'm not good enough at this, I knew I couldn't accomplish this, and boom, it's over. So to get that perfectionism out of the way. For example, this video is not perfect and I have no intention of making it perfect. There's some like fogginess that's going on in behind the lens and I need to turn it off and then turn it back on, take the lens off, clean the lens. Struggle in a humid tropical environment is real. So allow yourself to do things imperfectly. You will fall off the bandwagon. What's important is not whether you fell off or not, but it's about getting back up. An old Japanese proverb is fall down 7 times, get up 8. Which transitions into just do your best. Everybody on this planet, including yourself, is just doing their best every single day with what they have. With the cards that they've been dealt, with their upbringing, where they're at, what they've learned, what they haven't learned, where they are currently at. They are just doing their best, including you. So, focus on being imperfect, doing things imperfectly, allow yourself to be imperfect. Then focus every day on doing your best and being better than who you were yesterday. Now, this is great, especially if you've fallen off the bandwagon. Because if you fell off the bandwagon and your focus is to just be better than what you were yesterday, then that makes things a lot easier. Just don't fall off the bandwagon today. And next thing after that, have faith. Now, faith usually gets associated with religion, but the faith that I'm talking about is faith in yourself, belief in yourself. Believe that it may take time, but that you can get there and you will get there. Because it's all a journey. Every day is a journey. You have that destination in mind, that goal that you want to reach, and yet to get there, you have to go through the journey. You have to go through the ups and the downs, and the twists and the turns, and the setbacks, and then the massive victories. All of that comes into reaching your goal. You're not gonna stay on the path 100% of the time. We are human. So once again, this ties back into just be imperfect. Be imperfect and just work on being better. So I wanted to share this with you because it's a new year, and for me, it's just really exciting. I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish, and these are the things that I'm going to be implementing into my life. So question for you, what are some of the things that you do to make sure that you can stay on track with your goals? I'd love to hear, because I'm sure I left out some things in the list that I shared with you. So yeah, leave it in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really does help, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. So like I said, guys, new year, new day, we got this. Whatever goals that we have, let's work on it imperfectly together so that we can better ourselves and in return, better the world. Wouldn't that be a bonus? Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next week. Later.